Ladies and gentlemen, I am SidAlpha. Earlier today, it was announced by Bioware that they are officially ending all single-player and story support for Mass Effect Andromeda. The 1.10 update is now the final patch for the single-player game, and it is also confirmed that there will not be any DLC for the project. In a statement released on the Mass Effect website, the team had the following to say. Since the release of Mass Effect Andromeda, we've worked hard to address feedback from our community. From improving animations to expanding customization options, we looked to respond to your concerns and build on what you loved. With each patch, you let us know we were heading in the right direction, and we're grateful to everyone who joined us on this journey. We're proud of what we created, and we hope you enjoyed it as well. Earlier in development, we decided to focus Mass Effect Andromeda's story on the Pathfinder, the exploration of the Andromeda Galaxy, and the conflict with the Archon. The game was designed to further expand on the Pathfinder's journey through this new galaxy with story-based Apex multiplayer missions, and we will continue to tell stories in the Andromeda Galaxy through our upcoming comics and novels, including the Fate of the Quarian arc. Our last update, 1.10, was the final update for Mass Effect Andromeda. There are no planned future patches for single-player or in-game story content. In the coming weeks, our multiplayer team will provide details on their ongoing support and upcoming content, including new multiplayer missions, character kits, and what's in store for N7 Day. We appreciate all the millions of people who came with us to the Andromeda Galaxy. We hope to see you again in the Mass Effect universe. So what this means is that the Mass Effect Andromeda game, completely and utterly broken as it still is, will never be fully patched and has been officially abandoned by the developers less than 6 months after its launch, and this is actually more disappointing to me than the state of the game at launch or its current state. What this allows EA to do in this case is to decide to merely cut their losses, allowing a broken and unfinished game to remain so and still walk away with everyone's money. Not to say that this is entirely EA's fault. They are a business, and as their role as a publisher, they are merely doing the expected thing of maintaining their bottom line. A cost-effect analysis most likely showed that to patch the game up to an acceptable standard and double down on an already horrible product with additional DLC would simply cost more than any potential gain. Conversely, consumers would be able to easily make the argument that it is Bioware and EA's responsibility to patch up their product to an acceptable level, or at least offer refunds to those that wish it, and they would be absolutely right to make that argument on literally every level. Due to the severe mismanagement during the development of Mass Effect Andromeda, it seemed to be a near-perfect storm of what could go wrong did. Their refusal to abandon procedural generation, coupled with the severe issues they encountered with the Frostbite engine, meant that the game had a true development cycle of a mere 18 months. And with that short of a period of time, there's no small wonder that the game released in the state that it did. That said, this is a product that is continuing to be sold despite the fact that it is a broken product. It's actually fascinating to me that this sort of thing is so readily acceptable within the games industry, whereas in quite literally every other industry that I can think of, there would be mass recalls and refunds taking place wherever the product was sold. It's an interesting dichotomy between the games industry and every other industry on the planet. In addition to that, Montreal has already been reabsorbed back into Bioware proper in a support role for the other studios. This shows a complete lack of faith in the Montreal studio by Bioware and EA, which is a little troubling. We've seen EA dissolve studios for far less than the effrontery that was Mass Effect Andromeda, when the majority of the faults with the game could be laid securely at the feet of the managers of the project, and also the decision makers behind the idea to only put their smallest studio on the project that is one of Bioware's flagship IPs. Although perhaps now we should say was one of their flagship IPs. The Mass Effect trilogy was a concerted effort between the different Bioware studios working in tandem. The Mass Effect Andromeda project was a single studio that suffered attrition due to vacated job positions never being refilled. This resulted in a vastly understaffed team taking on a project that normally would require at minimum 2 to 3 times the number of developers that were placed on the project. Decision makers refused to abandon failed ideas that obliterated the majority of the time frame the team had to develop the game. The Frostbite engine featured its own set of problems that had to be worked through. Inter-office cooperation and communication seemed to be at an all-time low, and the working environment was reported as being extremely hostile, again on the part of the management of the game. Also, this abandonment of Andromeda could be a severe blow towards any thought of another Mass Effect title anytime soon. With BioWare now focused on Anthem, a completely new IP, there's no telling when or even if another Mass Effect title will be created. But as always, please do let me know what you think down in the comments below. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, I am SidAlpha, and I'll see you next time.